Have you ever felt like you're doing absolutely everything right? Eating less, moving more, but your body just refuses to play along? It is so frustrating. It's almost like your body is playing a totally different game, one with these powerful, ancient rules that we've all just kind of forgotten.
Okay, let's just get right into it because this is the big question for so many of us, right? We've been told our whole lives that this simple formula is the key. But for millions of people, it's a total dead end. So why is there this huge gap between all the effort we put in and the results we get?
Well, here it is. The problem isn't your willpower, it's your playbook. Your body is running on a deeply ingrained biological software honed over thousands of years for one thing: survival. And if we don't understand that software, we're basically trying to win a game without even knowing the rules.
So to start building a better strategy, we've got to bust some myths. So let me ask you this. When you actually lose body fat, what happens to it? Where does it go? Does it get burned up as heat? Something else? What's the real story here?
The answer is pretty mind-blowing. A full 84% of the fat you lose is converted into carbon dioxide, and you literally breathe it out. The other 16% just becomes water. This tells us something huge. Fat loss isn't just about burning it off in the gym. It's a fundamental metabolic process that's happening with every single breath you take, even when you're sleeping.
So, that brings us to the very first hidden rule. Your body is not a simple calculator where calories in minus calories out equals whatever. No, it's more like a ruthless accountant, and its number one job is to defend its energy budget to keep you alive and running.
We've all been taught what's called the additive model, right? The idea that every calorie you burn during a workout is just added to the pile. You go for a run, burn 300 calories. Do a class, burn 400. It all just adds up, creating a bigger calorie deficit. But, well, new science is showing us it's not quite that simple.
And this is where things get really interesting. On one side, you have that simple additive model we all know. But on the other side is the constrained energy model, which is a much more accurate picture. Think of your body's daily energy like a really strict household budget. If you suddenly start spending a lot more on a new hobby, like intense exercise, your body doesn't just go out and get a second job. Instead, it cleverly starts cutting back somewhere else, maybe on things you don't notice, like your immune system, all to keep the total budget balanced.
This is the formal definition. The constrained energy theory basically says our bodies are these incredibly efficient machines. They actively fight to keep your total daily calorie burn stable in a really narrow range. So when you start exercising a lot more, your body just compensates. It dials down the energy it's spending on other background jobs. It's a survival mechanism, plain and simple.
And we have some pretty startling real-world proof of this. A researcher named Herman Ponzer studied the Hadza, a modern hunter-gatherer tribe in Tanzania. Now, these people are way more active than the average office worker, right? But here's the crazy part. Once you adjust for body size, their total daily calorie burn was basically the same as ours. Their bodies had just become incredibly efficient. It proved that just moving more doesn't always mean burning more in the grand scheme of things.
Now, that first rule about our energy budget connects directly to our second one. This one shifts the focus from the calories we burn to the powerful primal driver of the calories we eat. See, your body is on a relentless hunt for one specific thing: protein. This idea is called the protein leverage hypothesis. And what it says is that all animals, and that includes us, have this incredibly powerful, non-negotiable appetite for protein. Your body knows the protein target it needs to hit every single day, and it will push you to keep eating until you hit that number, no matter how many extra calories from fats and carbs you have to plow through to get there.
If you want to know just how primal this drive is, just look at nature. Scientists saw that when crickets are in an environment that's low in protein, they will literally start eating each other to satisfy this craving. It is a biological command that is so strong it just overrides everything else.
Now, we're not resorting to cannibalism, obviously, but that exact same powerful drive is switched on when we walk into a supermarket. We're surrounded by foods that are super low in protein, but packed with processed fats and carbs, so our bodies just compel us to keep eating and eating, searching for that protein it needs. And the result? We blow way past our actual calorie needs.
And it gets even worse because of something we can call protein decoys. These are things like chips, crackers, all those savory ultra-processed snacks. They're literally designed to taste like they might have protein, which triggers that ancient craving. But they deliver almost none. So our bodies are left completely unsatisfied, driving us to eat the whole bag while we're still searching for that nutrient we need.
Okay, so if our bodies put a limit on how much energy we burn, and we're hardwired to overeat when we don't get enough protein, what are we supposed to do?
Well, that brings us to our third and final rule, and this is the one that puts us back in control. Your muscle is the engine that runs your entire metabolic system.
But here's the catch. This engine is always under threat. There's a process called sarcopenia, which is just the natural age-related loss of muscle. It can start as early as our 30s, and it really picks up speed as we get older. Losing this metabolically active tissue is one of the single biggest reasons our metabolism slows down as we age.
So why is muscle so critical? Well, think of it this way. It is the primary parking garage for the glucose, the sugar, from the food we eat. Research shows that our muscles are responsible for soaking up about 80% of the glucose from our bloodstream after a meal. It's like a giant sponge, and the more muscle you have, the bigger and more effective your sponge is.
So, basically, your muscle has two incredibly important jobs for your metabolism. First, like we just said, it's your #1 tool for managing blood sugar, which is key for preventing things like insulin resistance and fat storage. And second, because muscle tissue is so active, it's the main thing that drives your resting metabolic rate. That's the calories you burn just sitting around. More muscle means you have a faster engine running 24/7.
And what's really incredible is how little it takes to get the biggest bang for your buck. Research shows that the sweet spot for muscle strengthening activity, the dose that gives you the biggest reduction in your risk of dying from all causes, is just 30 to 60 minutes a week. That's it. It's so achievable.
And this is where it all comes together. Check this out. While strength training by itself gives you a really solid 15% reduction in all-cause mortality, when you combine it with aerobic activity, the benefit just explodes. You get a massive 40% reduction in risk. They don't just add up, they actually multiply each other's benefits. It's like creating this comprehensive shield for your health.
So after all this, it's pretty clear that the old mantra of eat less, move more is, well, it's broken. It's time for a whole new set of rules that actually work with our biology, not against it.
And here they are, the 3 new rules for lifelong health. First, work with your body's energy budget. Focus on high-quality activity like strength training, not just endless punishing cardio. Second, prioritize protein at every single meal. This is how you satisfy your body's most powerful craving and naturally control how much you eat. And third, build and maintain your muscle. It is your single most important organ for a healthy metabolism and a long life.
You see, all of this leads to one simple, powerful conclusion. Your body isn't broken. It's not being stubborn. It's an incredible, ancient system that's following its own rules perfectly. The real question is, now that you know what those rules are you ready to start playing the same game?